The official story from law enforcement is that Tyler Robinson, the alleged killer of Charlie Kirk, had a friend put a rifle in an undisclosed location where he went and picked it up. Okay? Then Tyler took the rifle up to the roof of the building where he supposedly committed the act of murder. There's no video of Tyler carrying the rifle up to the roof. And there's no video of him having the rifle on the roof. And there's no video of him taking the rifle down from the roof. Yet, that's the official story, okay? Which alone is absurd. But the point I want to make is that it was not Tyler's rifle. It belonged to a friend of his. Tyler had never fired the rifle before. He had never held the rifle before. He had never practiced with it at all. In fact, his grandmother told the Daily Mail that Tyler had never held or shot a gun in his life. Yet, despite all of that, okay, he makes a perfect kill shot on his very first try from a distance of 200 yards, which is 2 football fields long. It's simply unbelievable. Now compare that to the shooters in Dealey Plaza at the JFK assassination. It took them 6 shots to get the kill shot, and they were much closer than 200 yards. They were, 30, 40 yards away. And they were professional snipers. They were professional killers. Yet this untrained kid who had never fired or touched a weapon in his life gets a kill shot on his very first try at 200 yards with a rifle that doesn't belong to him and they had never practiced with. Now, it's also said in the official story from law enforcement that he disassembled the rifle when he came down from the roof, before he came down from the roof, and then he reassembled the rifle and hid it in the woods, which again makes absolutely no sense. Why would he do that? If he's running for his life, why is he going to take the time to disassemble a rifle? And then why is he going to take the time to reassemble the rifle and hide it in the woods? It does not make any sense. Plus, again, it wasn't his rifle. He had never used it before. He had never touched a weapon before. He would not even know how to disassemble or reassemble a rifle. Yet we're supposed to believe this, right? There were professional decoys at the event. There was an old man named George Zinn, 71 years old, who right after the alleged killing took place, he started yelling that he was responsible. So he was arrested, okay? Later he confessed and said that the reason he did that is that he wanted to allow the actual shooters to escape. So that right there tells you that Tyler, if he indeed was the killer, which it makes no sense that he was, but if he was, he did not act alone. Now, we're supposed to believe that this 71-year-old George Zinn, this decoy, is in cahoots with a 22-year-old lone tranny, Tyler Robinson. It makes zero sense. And not only that, but George Zinn, it turns out, he's a professional decoy. He did this exact or a very similar thing at the 9/11 events. So he's like a professional. He gets paid to show up at these events and then act as a decoy. Now, you may not know this, but there was a book available on Amazon. I believe it was called The Shooting of Charlie Kirk, and it was made available on September 9th, the day before Charlie Kirk was shot. So that indicates prior knowledge. Now, you may remember the same thing happened with the Maui wildfires that took place, which some say was a DEW attack. Okay? A book came out before those fires actually happened, a direct energy weapon attack, before those fires actually happened. So how could a person know ahead of time those fires were going to happen? How could a person know ahead of time that Charlie Kirk was going to be shot on September 10th? Why would they put a book out on September 9th? Now, Amazon says that the date on the book is a mistake, but I publish books on Amazon. They never make a mistake like that, and it takes, when you hit that publish button, the book doesn't go live right away. It takes 1 or 2 days, which means that the book appeared on September 9th. Then it was actually published a couple of days ahead of time on September 7th or September 8th at the latest. So we know that the person that wrote that book is not Tyler Robinson, because if he was, we would be hearing about it. It would be used as a means of evidence to convict him, to show his guilt. But instead, the whole story has been it's disappeared from the internet. You know, it's been shoved down the drain where nobody can see it. So that's another reason why it's highly improbable, if not impossible, for Tyler Robinson to have actually killed Charlie Kirk. Now, the reason we're supposed to believe that this kid did the killing, there's two motives were given. One motive, which is, he said that apparently this kid was a tranny, and Charlie Kirk was against trannies, so he killed him for that reason. But that's absurd too, because Charlie Kirk actually liked trannies. Charlie Kirk said the GOP should accept trannies. Charlie Kirk actually posed in pictures with trannies. So the motivation doesn't fit. And then we get this story that supposedly Tyler Robinson left behind these, what they call tranny cartridges, rifle cartridges with some kind of tranny words on them. It makes no sense. I mean, if you believe that, I have a bridge in Baltimore I'd like to sell you. So those are just a handful of dozens of reasons why Tyler Robinson could not possibly have killed Charlie Kirk.